Hi everyone, and welcome to our next video as we look back over 30 years of Kids for Drama and touch base with all our fabulous students currently who are doing it tough during lockdown here in Auckland. And I'm joined, I've referred to them for many, many years as my right and left hands, Nick and James. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Got the nod happening this morning, boys. Excellent. And Nick and James, you're both teachers now, James at Liston College and Nick at Avondale College. But can we go back in time? When were you at Kids for Drama and for how long? We'll start with you, Nick.
I think I worked it out this morning. It's 2002. It's my first year. When I was about 13 or 14, something like that. I was a late bloomer. I wasn't like some of these. And then I don't think I've actually left, to be honest.
No, can't
so I think next year it's 20 years. So Stephen needs to buy me a gift.
Brilliant. So good excuse for a cake next year. And we've had both your brothers through Kids for Drama as well. Yeah. But like the Devereaux extended family have all been through Kids for Drama. But James, how long were you with us for?
Yeah, so I started when I was 9 years old. So that was after seeing my cousins Thomas and Sophie perform in Smithy and Peter Pan and a couple of other shows, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I think. Signed up when I was 9 years old and still hanging around.
Good. Do you guys have any funny memories or stories about your time at K4D?
Probably too many, way too many. I think the every time we seem to get together, there seems to be a good story and a good moment and a good laugh. Like, I don't think I've ever been to a rehearsal or a show or a gathering and not laughed continuously or regularly. I think probably the highlight, and it's probably hard to explain, it was when we were in Invercargill, Stephen, and it was me, you and Kelsey with Jamie and Carleen. And it was one night on the tour and we were tired because we'd just driven probably to Gore and back. And you introduced us to Trigger Happy TV. And I just remember literally crying with laughter at this TV show that I'd never seen before. And there's been so many moments like that that are just brilliant.
For our young ones at home, Trigger Happy TV is like a candid camera show in Britain, but with just one guy doing all the pranks, but very different pranks. Yeah. Brilliant. Nick?
I guess there's too many, but probably the trip to the Gold Coast was back in 2000. I think it was 2005, my last year of high school, which seems like a long time. There's too many stories on that trip that we probably shouldn't repeat, should we, Stephen?
that was a wonderful trip. We took about 12 drama students, didn't we, over to the Gold Coast and hit the theme parks, went to some shows. It was a pretty awesome experience, especially when we arrived and got the van stuck in the underground car park within the first 10 minutes of our arrival. But I won't say anything more in case Carleen's watching. It's okay, we forgive you.
And then we went along the monorail thing at SeaWorld or whatever. SeaWorld?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just saw there was quite a bit of damage.
to the top of the van. Yeah. Brilliant. Now, you're both teachers, so how have you used skills that you've learned, I guess, through that time in your everyday sort of teaching life?
I guess for me, teaching's almost acting anyway. You almost put a show on anyway. So I guess that's sort of how I would use it. And I guess the great thing about Kids of Drama is, you've got older people working with younger people and all that sort of stuff, which is basically what teaching is. And that's what I enjoy about teaching and have gained from Kids of Drama.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. Like, I think I read this quote once that teaching is 1/4 preparation and 3/4 performance. I hope you're pleased with those fractions I just did, Nick.
Good one.
As
to 100, James.
I definitely agree with that it's a persona you put on for teaching, and the skills from drama of improvisation, and how to entertain, I suppose, and keep people engaged. But also drama teaches you that everyone's unique, because you're to perform, you have to be vulnerable in yourself and with others. So naturally, you're unique. But also drama, you're performing other people, you're performing different stories, made up or fictional, or true. And that's, yeah, I think that's definitely informed how I enter a classroom.
And do you think the arts are important in your students' lives?
Deeply.
Or play an important part, I guess?
Yeah, deeply. I think the both the need to have an outlet for creativity, but also just a way to connect. Like it's very human to want to connect and belong. And while the arts aren't for everyone, for those who do enjoy it, it's really important and very formative.
I think also, like, you know, when I think about things like school shows and things like that, it brings in a whole bunch of, you know, different people that want to do theatre, and, you know, staff and all that sort of stuff as well. It builds that sense of community, and I think that's what's really important.
Yeah. And it's at all ages again. I mean, even in a school show, it's the teachers, the students all working together. I think that's the best thing about the arts, is all ages get to work together.
Hey, Nick, you alluded to some travel you've done with Stephen, and I hear that you both have done more recently some travel with Stephen. James, I hear you've done some lime scootering around some coast in Brisbane.
Yeah, and that was, to be honest, sorry, Taylor, that took a lot of convincing to get him on one.
Fair enough.
But he looks so happy.
He was the fastest. Like, we couldn't keep up. It was brilliant.
Not only to get on one, but we stayed on it with the wonderful Sarah Woodland from Griffith University in Brisbane, and we spent nearly the day, didn't we, changing them as we went further up the coast and then had to get back. I will admit every bone in my body hurt the next day, though. but it was great.
Worth it. Cool. And Nick, you've climbed the Grand Canyon in Vegas. Is this true?
This is true. That was a day. That was a day, wasn't it?
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, though. It is true. And Nick had been through some stuff with his family, and I had just turning 40, and we said, why don't we do something crazy and go on a trip? And we did. We went to Vegas, and the goal was to climb the Grand Canyon. We should preface that we didn't do a normal tour. We signed up to like Bob's Outback Safari tour with this crazy driver who hadn't slept for very long, literally having the guy in the front seat of the car having to save us at one point because he nodded off on the freeway. We had to sign an indemnity that if we die sort of thing and can't prosecute. Nick and I several times just kept looking at each other.
They provided lunch, Stephen.
Pardon? What was that?
They provided lunch, Stephen.
They did provide lunch. That's why we chose that tour. But we did wonder, but we kind of got to the point of, well, we're here, you know, what could possibly go wrong? But this guy was real kamikaze, even to the point of thinking it was funny to take photos of people nearly getting kicked off the canyon. So, yeah, but it was an amazing trip. I've traveled with both these guys several times to several things. They're pretty awesome people to travel with.
Yeah. And Stephen, this question's for you actually, but you know, you talk about the support that Nick and James have given you for, you know, over 10 years. Like, how does that support make you feel in all these times?
Oh, look, it's pretty special. We've been so lucky at Kids for Drama to have many people come back. Some leave us and come back years later and give back. People like yourself, Taylor, go off and study and then come back and get involved. Nick and James have been a real constant, like Miriam, through all these years, through everything drama and personal. And yeah, it's hugely special. But I think it's what Kids for Drama has been about. You're a student, then you become the adult in the team and you're part of the team. And that's just so awesome. To wrap, guys, I'm really curious as we're all doing this in lockdown. We could talk about memories for hours, but people might log off. How are you staying positive at the moment in these challenging times? Nick, kick it off.
I guess you just might have to edit this.
It's hard, eh?
I guess it's a hard one to, comprehend. I think for me personally, I like to keep my routine as much as possible. And that's getting up in the morning and, doing some work, watching Ashley at 1 p.m. and then, chilling out in the afternoon, that sort of, and, going for walks and, that sort of stuff, and connecting with people like you guys. And, I guess in some ways it's harder for teenagers now because they're so used to seeing each other all the time or communicating all the time and all that sort of stuff via phones and all that sort of stuff. And then they get plunged into a room, basically. And I think that's potentially what's quite difficult, isn't it?
James, how are you keeping yourself positive?
Yeah, it's tricky. I think mine came very early on from just doing my best to accept what was happening completely. And, accepting that I'm here for how many weeks it's going to be, and I can't control that. So what can I control? Well, I can control what time I get up in the morning. I can control what I have for breakfast. Teaching is pretty structured still, but even that's still a sense of control. So I suppose control the controllables, and then from, like Nick, that routine, and just the check-ins. But I'll probably put on a bit of weight during this time as well because I've been diving into the stash of chocolate, all that kind of stuff. But I suppose this time calls us to be people of hope. So for me, being positive is knowing that it will one day, hopefully soon, conclude. Because we've done it before. We've gone through 4, 3, 2, and 1 before, and then we had a great summer. So my hope is that it will finish up soon, and we've just got to get through it.
And as teachers, is there advice you would give students who are sort of battling that struggle at home of getting their schoolwork done, perhaps sharing devices and internet time with others of the family, but feeling the pressure of NCEA or Cambridge approaching really soon?
Yeah, I'd say take a breath and focus on what is truly important. Because schools are really good at doing busy stuff and adding stuff on. So what is really important? So today, Monday, what is the most important thing I need to get done today? And just focus on that. But also, if you're struggling with the workload, communicate that with your teachers. Because, we're all in the same boat. I really appreciate getting messages saying, I've got a lot going on. Like a young man of mine did his army testing last week and just sort of said, sir, I'm offline for the week. I'm sorry, but I'm offline for the week because getting into the army is really important for me.
Cool.
And I just said, I'll see you in a week's time. Good luck.
Yeah, true, James. Look, totally with you. And students watching this, talk to your teachers, talk to the adults around you, talk to Taylor and I, keep that communication up. Thank you, guys. We could talk for hours. I'm really sorry that we haven't got longer, but I want sort of bite-sized chunks. But I do appreciate all the stories and memories that we've made up over the last 20 plus years. And yep, Nick, we'll start ordering that cake for next year. Good luck with the rest of lockdown, and we'll look forward to seeing you at rehearsal soon.
Thanks, Nick and James.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.